Umaru is a beautiful girl who catches everyone's attention wherever she goes, with a kind personality and a habit of helping others. However, when she gets home, she turns into a completely different person, an otaku who is lazy and constantly depends on her older brother, Taihey. At mealtime, instead of eating, she plays games, which leads to Taihei scolding her. While eating, Umaru suddenly remembers that today is the release day for the new One Piece manga, so she asks Taihei to go to the bookstore and buy it for her. Since her classmates don't know about it, and she loves manga, Umaru throws a tantrum when Taihei refuses and demands he buy it. Taihei eventually gives in and buys it for her, but she doesn't thank him and instead asks for fries too. The next morning, when her friends notice Umaru's red eyes, they scold Taihei for being mean to his sister, not knowing that Umaru constantly makes trouble for him. Today, Umaru decides to train her to hamsters because she wants to enter a pet training contest with a prize of 1 million yen. However, her true intention is to train the hamsters to become her servants. Taihei remembers that Umaru hasn't cleaned the hamster cages yet, but when he checks, he finds her live streaming while sleeping with them. She had slept all day and is now playing games all night, keeping him from sleeping. At school, Umaru is always the center of attention due to her beauty, which makes her best friend Ibina feel embarrassed. However, Umaru reassures her that Ibina is also beautiful. There's a classmate, Tachibana, who constantly competes with Umaru for the best grades but can never beat her perfect scores. In swimming class, Umaru always finishes first, while Ibina struggles. In music class, her playing even moves the teacher to tears. Ibina's apartment is just below Umaru's, and when Umaru gets home, she rushes to her computer. That night, Taihei reviews her test but is confused about how this lazy girl always gets top scores. The two siblings are playing games together when Taihei needs to go to the market. Umaru pouts on the way there, and at the supermarket, she still ignores him but buys snacks to eat while gaming. Taihei decides to take her out for ice cream to make up with her, but when he accidentally drops it, she pouts again. Taihei remembers that he promised Umaru they would play games all day, so when they get home, they continue. After hearing this, Umaru quickly cheers up. Every time Taihei comes home from work, he dreads serving his lazy sister, but today, Umaru unexpectedly becomes a perfect person when her friend Ibina visits. Umaru pretends to be perfect, cleaning the room thoroughly, which surprises Taihei. He suggests Ibina visit more often to keep Umaru from being lazy, but this only makes Ibina develop feelings for him. After Ibina leaves, Umaru returns to her usual lazy self, and Taihei rewards her with a bag of chips for her progress, not realizing that she stuffed all the living room trash into the bathroom. On days off, Umaru stays up all night playing games but finds no one online in the morning and can't continue. She knows Taihei worked late the previous night but still wakes him up early to play with her. Taihei, too tired to argue, lies back down and Umaru crawls into bed with him, ensuring he can't sleep. However, after a few minutes, she falls asleep herself. On the way home from school, Umaru and Ibina get a notification about a rock-paper-scissors contest with a body pillow prize that Umaru loves. She convinces Taihei to participate with her to increase their chances of winning. To motivate him, she says she only wants to spend time with her brother. However, when they reach the registration, she lets Taihei compete alone while she runs off to play. Taihei unexpectedly reaches the finals and is surprised to learn his opponent is Ibina. Taihei wins the body pillow, and knowing Ibina also likes it, gives it to her. Umaru scolds him for giving it to Ibina, so he orders another one online to make up for it. Umaru demands Taihei buy her a newly released game, and when he refuses, she follows him outside, planning to throw a tantrum in public so he can't refuse. At the supermarket, they run into Ibina, so Umaru quickly switches to her perfect persona. Taihei invites Ibina to lunch, hoping Umaru won't throw her tantrum. Umaru continues hinting at Taihei to buy her the game, but he ignores her and chats with Ibina. Unable to take it anymore, Umaru transforms and demands Taihei buy the game in the middle of the restaurant, but she panics when she realizes Ibina is right in front of her. Fortunately, Ibina is too focused on eating to notice. Ibina, feeling nervous about the upcoming midterms due to her clumsiness, is reassured by Umaru that they will both work hard. However, when they get home, Umaru just plays Free Fire and doesn't study. Taihey knew that Umaru usually scored high by focusing in class, but since the midterm exams were difficult, he told her to study properly. That night, Umaru dreamt of her classmate Tachibana surpassing her, while Ivina was struggling. Umaru woke up and immediately woke Taihey to help her study, and together they stayed up all night. In the end, Umaru once again topped the entire school. Besides her beauty and excellent grades, Umaru excels at everything, while Tachibana only excels at showing off and challenging Umaru. Everyone notices a classmate named Kiri, who always stares at Umaru. On the way home from school, Umaru tells Ivina about it, but Ivina reveals that Kiri has been staring at her since the beginning of the story. Ivina tried talking to Kiri once, but couldn't understand why Kiri always looks at her with such a scary expression. When they get home, Umaru was lying in bed playing games when she suddenly heard the doorbell. She ran to open the door, thinking it was her brother Taihey, but to her surprise, it was Kiri. Kiri thought Umaru in this form was incredibly cute and mistook her for the perfect sister's younger sibling. So, Umaru, in a bit of a bind, introduced herself as Kamaru, the little sister. It turned out Kiri had come to return a student ID that Umaru had dropped the week before. Seeing how adorable Umaru was, Kiri asked to be her disciple. When Taihey came home, he was surprised to see Kiri at their place, and Kiri's intense stare made him nervous. Umaru realized Kiri was just socially awkward. After that, Kiri started visiting often, thinking that befriending Umaru's younger sister might give her a chance to connect with Umaru. The next day, everyone avoided Kiri, who had a sulky face, but Umaru, in her usual kind-hearted way, went to talk to Kiri and invited her to go home with her. Kiri felt happy to be invited over. However, when Ivina, who was close to Umaru, spent time with her, Kiri became jealous. So, Kiri quickly ran home via another route. After school, Umaru would often disguise herself and go to a gaming shop to play, where her excellent skills allowed her to win all the prizes. The staff were always nervous when they saw her coming. One employee redesigned a claw game to make it harder, but Umaru managed to grab a sign with the claw and win 3 prizes in one go. The next challenge involved a smaller hook, but Umaru used her advanced technique to grab a small prize from a narrow slot. She also charmed 2 of the store employees to add extra prizes. The shop ended up losing balance, and the prizes spilled everywhere. Umaru returned home with a mountain of stuffed animals, filling the whole house. Taihey felt sorry for the store. Taihei's colleague Alex gave him a souvenir ceramic cat with a bobbing head. Umaru, unimpressed, didn't like it. The next day, while playing with her hamsters, Umaru accidentally dropped the cat, breaking it. Fearing Taihey would scold her, Umaru decided to fix it herself, even though she couldn't remember what the cat's face looked like. She eventually apologized to Taihey, but he wasn't mad since she had taken responsibility. Instead, he scolded her for wasting money on repair tools. Umaru practiced hard for an upcoming fighting game tournament and invited Taihey to watch. When they arrived, Taihey was surprised to see Alex there too. As the tournament began, the atmosphere became electric, and Umaru was up against other skilled players including Tachibana, who was also participating. Luckily, Umaru wore a mask, so Tachibana didn't recognize her. After a tough match, only Umaru and Tachibana remained. Tachibana quickly attacked, but Umaru blocked every move. Tachibana got distracted when she saw Alex in the audience, causing her to leave the competition in embarrassment. Umaru won, and the organizers declared her the champion. After the midterm exams, the students at Umaru's school finally had their summer vacation. However, instead of going on vacation like everyone else, she decided to camp out at the game shop to play games. While she was playing, Tachibana suddenly appeared, so Umaru quickly put on a mask. It turned out that Tachibana wanted to have a rematch with Umaru to settle their previous unfinished game. However, Umaru didn't bring her fighting game console, so the two of them had to settle things by playing a simpler game. When they started playing, Tachibana hit a large pile of coins, but she suggested switching to a different game since this one was based mostly on luck. They ended up playing about 10 different games at the shop, but in the end, the match ended without a clear winner. Umaru knew that Tachibana really wanted to beat her, so she decided to give in and lose quickly. After Tachibana won, she was very happy and asked to become friends with Umaru. During the hot summer days, Umaru invited Kiri over to her house to enjoy the air conditioning, but in reality, she just wanted Kiri to serve her. Because Kiri was fanning her so well, Umaru fell asleep without realizing it. Kiri, planning to take a picture of Umaru because she was so cute, got startled when Umaru suddenly woke up. Umaru crawled onto Kiri's lap, leaving Kiri unsure of what to do. Seeing Umaru's adorable face, Kiri froze in place. Later that afternoon, Taihey came home and saw the two of them with the air conditioning running, so he turned it off and opened the window to let in the heat to wake them up. Whenever Umaru took a bath, she always brought her game console with her. She even prepared some chips to eat while playing. But after a while, the bubbles ran out, so she had to go outside and steal more from Taihei's secret stash, bringing it back to continue playing. Taihey felt that besides mouse suit, Umaru didn't have any other clothes to wear at home, so he gave her some money to buy new clothes with her friends, warning her not to spend it on games. Umaru invited Kiri and Ivina to the mall to buy clothes, but it seemed that Kiri wasn't very close to Ivina. Umaru was surprised that with the price of one outfit, she could buy 60 bottles of Coca-Cola. Seeing Kiri's displeasure, no shopkeeper dared approach them. Umaru decided to use this opportunity to help Kiri and Ivina get along better, so she suggested that they try on various outfits just for fun. While shopping, Umaru noticed a newly released game and after some internal debate, decided to buy it. She bought some cheap clothes to deceive Taihey. Eventually, Umaru's summer vacation ended, and she had to wake up for breakfast, feeling extremely tired. She even fell asleep while eating, but once she left the house, she transformed into her perfect persona. Seeing that Umaru stayed up late playing games, Taihey reminded her to go to bed to develop a good habit. However, as soon as Taihey fell asleep, Umaru turned on the light to keep playing. Suddenly, Umaru felt like drinking Coca-Cola, but the fridge was empty, so she decided to go to the convenience store in the dead of night. She was worried about running into any bad people, but quickly regained her composure when she screamed at the sight of a cat. She rushed to the store, bought her Coca-Cola, and then had to make her way home. Walking alone at night felt a bit strange, but when she got home, Umaru was startled to find that Taihey had caught her sneaking out to buy Coca-Cola, and he scolded her for going out so late, warning her it was dangerous. Taihey was sitting and working when Umaru suddenly screamed, causing him to spill his water and think something important had happened. It turned out she was talking about a new boss in the game she was playing. In the following days, Umaru constantly bothered Taihey, making it impossible for him to work. So, Taihey decided to buy a room divider to give Umaru her own space, hoping to quickly finish his work. Meanwhile, Umaru was excited because she could be lazy without being scolded. However, after the room was divided, Umaru felt a bit bored and kept peeking at what Taihey was doing. Taihey, also not used to the divider, suggested Umaru remove it, so the room returned to its original state. Umaru was extremely happy because it was her birthday. She kept subtly hinting to see if Taihey remembered, but from his relaxed attitude, she was sure he had forgotten. At school, Umaru received many birthday presents from her classmates, and although she was still a bit shy, Kiri even gave her a whole fish. Umaru felt very sad when everyone remembered her birthday except Taihey. After school, she ran straight home to meet her brother, but when she entered the house, she found Taihey had decorated for a surprise birthday party. It turned out Taihey hadn't forgotten, he just wanted to surprise her. Umaru always lay around and asked Taihey to get her Coca-Cola while he cleaned up the mess she made. Sometimes she just called him for fun. One evening, Umaru suddenly screamed because she couldn't find her figure box. It turned out that while cleaning, Taihey had accidentally thrown it away. Umaru wasn't upset about the box as she didn't like its design, but she pretended to cry to make Taihey feel guilty, knowing it would prevent him from scolding her later. That night, Umaru was very worried when she couldn't find Taihey anywhere in the house. When she heard him return, she quickly ran out and hugged him. It turned out Taihey felt guilty and bought her a new doll, but Umaru said the box didn't matter, which made Taihey extremely angry. Ivina suddenly knocked on the door and invited everyone to go out for ramen. It turned out that Ivina wanted to thank Taihey for treating her to lunch. She took them to a delicious ramen shop, which made Umaru very excited. She even wanted to enjoy the ramen with her favorite Coca-Cola, but she kept her excitement inside, pretending to be polite. One of Taihei's colleagues, Takashi, was upset because his girlfriend had just dumped him. Takashi suspected Taihei was living with a girlfriend, which made him very jealous. However, Taihei clarified that Umaru was just his little sister. Despite Taihei's denials, Takashi insisted on going to Taihei's house to verify this information, and no matter how much Taihei refused, Takashi followed him there. When they arrived, they were both stunned to see Umaru lying asleep, but her cuteness seemed to heal Takashi's broken heart. When Umaru woke up and saw Takashi, she mistook him for her brother who had just been shocked by electricity. Takashi turned out to be Kiri's older brother. Later, when they got home, Takashi wanted to carry his little sister around the house, which made Umaru angry, so she hit him for not knocking before entering her room. Umaru then happily woke Taihei up because, finally, the snow had started to fall. When Taihei mentioned making a katatsu, Umaru quickly changed into her perfect form. However, Taihei reminded her that before they could make the katatsu, she needed to clean up the mess she had left around. Umaru quickly tidied up everything in its place, and after cleaning, the two of them finally completed their katatsu. Once inside, Umaru fell asleep peacefully. On Christmas, Umaru decided to stay home and play games instead of going out. Although it was a holiday, Taihei and Takashi had to stay at work. Takashi was upset that he had to work while others were enjoying the holiday. The manager appeared and scolded him, but gently asked Taihei if he wanted to go out. That evening, Umaru felt a bit lonely as she spent Christmas by herself, but she was overjoyed when she saw Taihei return home with Kiri. Kiri gave Umaru a small Christmas gift, and even also sent her a congratulatory email, making her feel warm inside. On New Year's Eve, Takashi came over to celebrate the new year with Umaru, and Umaru suddenly saw Tachibana ringing a bell at the shrine. Taihei invited everyone to the nearby shrine to pray for good luck in the new year, but the two lazy ones, Umaru and Kiri, just wanted to stay home and watch the year-end comedy show. That's the end of part 1. Follow me so you don't miss the next video.